Brian Blaine just told me. Thank you. Oh, are we starting? Where's my gavel? Where's the gavel? I don't have a gavel.
Oh, back there. Why would they do that? No chase.
No, he's out tonight.
Who you got doing the prayer?
Ready? Okay. I love the power of that gavel. All right, welcome to our October 8th, 2024 finance meeting here at the lovely Ascension Parish Courthouse. Agenda item number 1, call to order. Mr. Arsenault, you want to do the invocation and pledge?
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for another evening together, God. Pray that you would be with us this evening as we work through our decisions, God. We thank you for Ascension Parish and the ability to live here and to be in this great country. In your name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Roll call. Currently, Mr. Robert, Mr. Turner, and Mr. Melanson are absent. Chair's addition, chair has no additions. Public comment, if anyone wants to speak on any agenda item, just see Miss Ashley with the green or red tag, and she will get that over to me, and we will give you your 3 minutes. Item 5A, quarterly update from the AEDC activities, including meetings with stakeholders, allies, current business retention meetings, and review of projects. Miss Kate.
All right, good evening. I'm here to do our quarterly briefing for you all and update you on our activities so far this year. So this is just a reminder of our mission, which is to maximize economic potential in Ascension Parish. Right now, we have a fairly active project summary with 8 of our A projects, which are projects likely to make a decision within the next 12 months, representing over $6 billion of new capital investment and over 1,700 new jobs. We also are still waiting on 8 feasibility announcements. So as a reminder, these are projects that have already publicly announced their intention to do a project here and are in the process of doing permitting and front-end engineering in order to decide if this is an economically feasible project. So we would anticipate 2 of those decisions by the end of this year and the rest by the end of next year. So overall, on our project tracker of projects we're actively working on, we have 30 with a potential investment of over $30 billion and almost 4,000 new jobs. So far this year in 2024, these are the 3 projects that we have announced. You can see that it's over $54 million with 16 new positions, and we are waiting patiently for some more announcements by the end of this year. But we have been working on some of our previous projects. So this chart we put together as a status update. So these are projects that we have worked on in the last 3 years. I guess there's one from 2020 on there. And then this is just an update on where they are in their construction schedule. So what you'll see is the majority of them are wrapping up construction projects by the end of this year, and some of them in the first quarter of next year. So we're looking at $1.8 billion of investment of activity that's happened in the last 4 years that has been ongoing. So a lot of this is to kind of gauge where construction is at, especially in high traffic corridors, to kind of see where different projects are maybe in their status to understand more about traffic patterns. So the bigger addition at the bottom is the Air Products project. So they have started some of their construction activities, but obviously until they can get through permitting, you won't see any significant construction activities there. And then our business retention and attraction program is still going strong. This is just the attraction side. So we had 32 leads year to date. It has been an interesting year. So a lot of the projects that have come in are mega projects. So they are massive in size, but have mega infrastructure needs, which usually include a deep water dock and rail. So we are running out of large sites that can accommodate these very large projects. for us to be able to submit on. And then we have, in reverse, a lot of smaller projects with newer technologies, but they are very slow to develop. So that a project we're talking to now, rather than taking 18 months to 2 years of working with them, it may be 3 or 4 years where they're looking to make a decision. So it's just been a little different than the usual on the attraction side, and we've had less projects sending in RFIs than in other years. And then these are our site visits for this year. So the majority of them are on the West Bank. So that has been one of the biggest areas of interest in this past year, and multiple visits to the west side of the parish. And then for our retention and expansion efforts, we have visited with 22 companies to date. 6 of those companies have expressed potential projects, which would bring in another $550 million and 75 additional new jobs. They are all focused on emissions reductions across the board, all different ways of looking at becoming cleaner or utilizing new technology. And they universally have talked about workforce needs. So specifically, there's been a lot of process operator classes this year, and many have expressed issues with finding electrical engineers. So if anyone knows anyone, all of these companies list their positions on their website. So it has been a very active year in hiring and searching for employees. And that is the conclusion, and I'm open for any questions that I can answer.
Any questions for Ms. Kate? All right. Hang out, because we're going to do item B real quick. Item 5B, approval of the renewal of cooperative endeavor agreement with Ascension Economic Development Corporation to promote and encourage and develop industry and commerce in the parish of Ascension for the purpose of providing and serving the residents of Ascension Parish with greater economy and efficiency related to economic development within the parish. Total agreement amount not to exceed $322,800.
Motion.
Have a motion from Mr. Cullen, second from Mr. Arsenault. Any questions? Any objections? Thank you very much. Oh, you have a question? Oh, Mr. Varno has a question.
I was late here.
It's okay.
I'm just curious, what are y'all doing to, I know the governor's trying to, their teams are trying to rework the tax code to make it more business friendly. What, are you guys in direct contact with those folks to, tell them what you're seeing in order to attract, different businesses and give incentives and whatnot for that?
Kate, if I may. So we've been paying very close attention to the inventory tax and several other tax initiatives that may affect industry. The unique advantage of the river region, which is West Baton Rouge, EBR, St. James, St. John, Ascension, St. Charles, is that we're just, I guess, blessed to be located along the Mississippi River. So there's some inventory tax issues of opt-in, opt-out. The inventory tax is ingrained in our system and in our revenues. So the opting out of that would be a severe circumstance to our tax revenue. We do need to see how the state matches and some of the particulars of that. I was talking to Tony Bacala about it at the Capitol today, just going over some of those specifics and what that may look like. A lot is preliminary at this point. But the Parish Presidents Association, which I'm a part of, we're paying very close attention, especially in the river region, and we have group texts that we talk back and forth about any slight adjustment or conversations that are being had. So when something gets a little more concrete, and especially in this special session, we'll be bringing y'all and informing y'all of those developments as they come, because it's really, really preliminary at this point. It looks like the main goal is to eventually, the first phase will probably reduce the income tax, but eventually eliminate state income tax. So you'll no longer pay income tax. It'll be shifted more into the sales parameter. So that appears to be what the ultimate goal is, but the first phase will be, from the language in the governor's press conference, is to look for inefficiencies within the current system in order to fill some gaps and reduce that income tax. But yes, and the opt-out program is really for the northern parishes who need to focus on manufacturing, where inventory tax may hurt them with, car manufacturing or those type of manufacturing facilities where the inventory tax would be really detrimental to that type of business. Whereas along the river, basically on the average, about 1/3 of all tax revenues are built into the inventory tax that feeds each of the parishes along the river region. So it would be a significant hit for us. So obviously, we would want to opt into that, and I think we have the support of the entire river region to all opt in. So we would all be opting in along the river region, and then allowing the northern parishes to opt out of the inventory tax. The other tax incentives and things like that, prescription drugs and other things, we need a little bit more information on those before we present those to y'all.
Anybody else? Thank you, Ms. Kate.
Thanks.
Item 5C, and I do have a speaker, so once I read it, I'll let Mr. Shelby come up. Approval of resolution to approve funding for the New River Stormwater Management Pump Station Project allocation of funds from the mega fund to the amount of $15 million. And Mr. Shelby, you have a comment?
Yes, my name is Shelby Ballard. I live in Dutchtown Meadow subdivision off of Corner View. I live right on the banks of the Bayou Goodine. In '21, we had the major flood there, and when it was proposed to build this facility to be able to eliminate some of the flooding that we had there, I totally want to support this endeavor, and I want to thank the parish president for the effort and the council also for the effort they're putting forth to make this project happen. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Chair will entertain a motion. Motion. I've got a motion from Mr. Hillensback and a second from Mr. Cullen. Do I have any questions,
Chair?
Mr. President?
If you just want to mention to the audience, there will be a presentation at the upcoming drainage meeting about this particular project. So that if people want to learn a little bit more about the project, it will be presented at the East Ascension Drainage following finance.
Stay tuned. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Any objections? All right, so moved. Thank you very much. Item 5D, approval of the renewal of the cooperative endeavor agreement between Parish Fire District Number 3 and Prairieville Fire Department for the compensation of part-time firefighters for the 2025 calendar year. Total agreement not to exceed $490,000. I have a motion from Mr. PT and a second from Mr. Arsenault. Any questions? Any objections? So we'll go to full council. Item E, approval of renewal of master services contract with Lofton Industrial Services LLC for temporary staffing. Total contract not to exceed $125,000.
Motion.
Have a motion from Mr. Cullen. Second from Mr. Varnado. Any questions? Any objections? That item will go to full council. Approval to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 5, Animals and Fowl, Article 3, Animal Control, to clarify the language to registration and rabies tags to align the ordinance language with the state statute. I have a motion from Ms. Alonzo. Excuse me. A second from Mr. Hillensback. Words. Leave me alone. Any objections? Any questions? Fantastic. Moving on to item G. Approval of ordinance declaring surplus and authorization of the sale and/or transfer of miscellaneous movable equipment. I have a motion from Mr. Hillensback.
Second.
Second from Mr. Cullen. Any questions? Any objections? Awesome. Item H, approval of amendment number 1 to the maintenance agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development Office of Engineering for mowing and litter pickup to increase the stipulated minimum number of maintenance cycles in the fiscal year from 4 to 5. This agreement is DOTD funded. I have a motion from Mr. Barnado. I hate y'all. And a second from Mr. Hillensback. Do I have any questions? Any objections? All right, that'll go to full council. Item I, approval of amendment number 2 to the AIA document B133 with Grace Abear Curtis Architects LLC for the Ascension Parish Courthouse construction. This contract came in under budget at $150,000. Therefore, the new not to exceed of the contract is being reduced from $180,000 to $151,404.85, which includes reimbursable expenses in the amount of $1,404.85.
Motion.
Have a motion from Mr. Cullen, a second from Mr. Arsenault. Any questions? Any objections? So moved. Item J, approval of amendment number 1 to the master contract for professional services with McKim and Creed, Inc. for the water sector program. This amendment only extends the term of the project through September 25th, 2025, and is retroactive to September 25th, 2024, and does not affect the original contract price. I have a motion from Mr. Hillensback and a second from Mr. Barnado. Any questions? Any objections? That'll go to full council. Item K, approval of change order number 9, Hendrick Construction, Inc. for the PR 929 and Parker Road Roundabout project in the Move Ascension program. Project H.006457.6 for the partial project acceptance. This change order value is $0. Total contract amount remains unchanged at $2,597,730.94. Motion for Mr. Hillensback, second for Mr. Varnado. Do I have any questions? Any objections? All right. Item L, approval of the renewal of the legal services contract with Larry W. Buqua for the real estate acquisition and miscellaneous land-related work. The total contract amount not to exceed $50,000.
Motion.
Motion for Mr. Cullen, second from Mr. Barnado. Any questions? Any objections? These new glasses. Item M, approval of renewal of legal services contract with Stemmons and Alley PLLC to represent the parish in insurance litigation, including workers' compensation and any other legal matters necessary. Total contract not to exceed $45,000. Motion from Ms. Alonso,
Second.
second from Mr. Cullen. Any questions? Any objections? That'll go to full council. Item N, approval of renewal of the legal services contract with Jeff Diaz for legal advice, advisory opinions, counsel, and legal assistance to the parish president and the staff and administrators of the executive office on an as-needed, on-call continuing basis. Total contract amount not to exceed $90,000.
Motion.
Motion from Mr. Cullen. Second from Ms. Alonso. Any questions? Any objections? We'll go to full council. Item O, approval of renewal of the legal services contract with Lede Law Group LLC as the counsel for Allen Bro versus Ascension Parish Council, DeLacy Joseph versus Ascension Parish, and the use of his services on any further personnel or employment issue lawsuit against Ascension Parish government. Total contract amount not to exceed $60,000. Have a motion from Ms. Alonso. And a second from Mr. P.T. Any questions? Any objections? That item will move to full council. Item P, the contract report for all contracts entered into in the month of September. Those were sent out to us the other day. Does anybody have any questions about the contracts that we reviewed? All right. We'll go to finance reports, item 6. Item 6A, the monthly report of new positions added to the Ascension Parish government. There were no new positions, so we don't have a report for that. And then item B, financial update. As always, our open checkbook is on our website. Please view the site if you want to have any questions. And I have a motion to adjourn from Mr. Varnado, second from Mr. Arsenault. Any questions? Sweet. Thank you very much.